said, well, I am socially distanced from poverty.
Yes,
absolutely.
quite, I agree.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Fuck the poor.
Olha o Daniel! Toca de maneira esquisitaça na bola, Mercado!
I feel physically sick, to be honest, and I mean that.
Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, Love Island's Molly May came under intense criticism for comments she made on a podcast this week.
People saying, you know, like, it's easy for you to say that, you know, you've not grown up in poverty, you've not grown up, you know, with major money struggles. So for you to sit there and say that we all have the same 24 hours in a day is not correct. And I'm like, but technically what I'm saying is correct.
Not sure those sweatshop workers at PLT are gonna get through on vibes alone. Look, you've got 24 hours in the day, just use it wiser. I'm on a 36-hour shift, and I haven't eaten since Wednesday. It's not like she's done no work to get where she is, but you're famous from a show where the main plot is shagging in Spain. This is hardly an Oscar-winning performance. Guess that's it. I'm down to my final pound. If only I had a way to earn more money so that the storyline in this film could come to a close. Just don't be poor. Excuse me, what did you... Just like, stop being poor. On to the football though now, and Arsenal spent 2 hours of their day losing, getting knocked out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round by Championship side Nottingham Forest. It had been too long, hadn't it really, since the last bit of North London foolishness. No amount of 92-93 alternate kits can save you from this one. Nottingham Forest were last decent in like 1992. You've lost to a retro kit. Priti Patel announced before the game that she's actually an Arsenal fan. She'll deport half the squad after this result. Actually, just pretend they can play tennis and they'll probably all get away with it. Arsenal actually played in a special all-white kit with a message "No More Red" as a campaign against London City knife crime. Forest really saw the crime statistics and said,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
It wasn't the only criminal activity here, as Mikel Arteta replaced a struggling Tavares in the 35th minute. And as you can imagine, the fullback was not impressed.
It's all the drama, Mick. I just love it.
You can't make a first half sub and still lose the game. He died for this. He was straight down the tunnel and out to go sightseeing in the beautiful city of Nottingham. There's the Victoria Centre, where there's a bomb scare every 3 weeks. No, Barbara, that's an Amazon package. And on top of that, who am I kidding? There's no sights to see in Nottingham. Eddie and Nketiah's highlights from the game were far from spectacular, and Spurs Web, a Tottenham-oriented Twitter account, took the opportunity to laugh at Arsenal not winning any silverware using a picture of Harry Kane. That's like Hezbollah laughing at someone for being too small for Alton Tower rides. United are through to the 4th round, albeit unconvincingly, with a win over Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. But the ex-Liverpool captain wasn't letting the Old Trafford crowd get to him.
Welcome to the end of the round.
I mean, his expected stares here are through the roof. It's an unlikely comeback, but United might be through, but Marcus Rashford is still struggling. Red Devils fans have got to come to terms with the fact they're going to be seeing another Marcus Rashford essay tomorrow. He had a chance with a rebound coming to him, but he just disconnected entirely. It was a controversial VAR decision in this one that saw a Villa goal disallowed. Stevie G had his say on the matter.
Yeah, of course.
To be honest, he's too busy getting the gang back together anyway. After the loan signing of Philippe Coutinho from Barcelona, the poor guy's going from Spain to Birmingham. He's going to be devastated when he realises that Aston Villa isn't actually a villa. Babe, I'm just so glad that we've moved into such a nice and quiet area of... Obviously, it's so peaceful. How are you even missing all these shots? Oh God. Luis Suarez has not been invited to this Liverpool reunion, and I hope he doesn't take it too personally. As for United, though, look, the man didn't even play, but just send Anthony Martial to AFCON. He must have some heritage, just for everybody's sake. And that brings us on to our African Cup of Nations 2021 break. The latest installment of Africa's footballing gem got underway this week, and I'll be honest, it's acting very unprofessionally. First of all, it's acting as if we're working on a next goal win setting. The opening game though saw the hosts, Cameroon, come back from behind to beat Burkina Faso, and just 40 seconds into the entire tournament, There is absolutely no way Naby Keita's making it back from this competition in one piece. If you wanted to watch it on YouTube though, you couldn't, as the CAF's official stream of the game got taken down for copyright. How does a tournament copyright itself? African dads everywhere were baffled. Dad, it's not the TV, it's just the streams down. Listen to me, if you'd not taken the time to become a YouTuber and you'd become a technologist like I told you to do, you'd be able to fix this. I love this tournament, honestly. You got Burkina Faso playing 2 defenders by the end. There's no tactics, there's no analysis, it's just vibes. Burkina Faso's Tapsoba got injured, taken off on a stretcher, only to get off it and run back on immediately. The most high-profile game, though, was probably Nigeria versus Egypt, as the Super Eagles eased to victory in the Nirin Heritage Derby. Nigeria were good, but honestly, Egypt were useless. Mohamed El Neni was having none of it when asked to be a midfield playmaker. They're just launching balls forward because they know Mo Salah's up there somewhere. Mo himself is definitely celebrating with Nigeria so that he can get back to service from Trent sooner. Chris MD caused Troost Ekong more problems than Egypt did. The hardest thing Nigerians had to deal with here was reading the Egyptian starting 11. You got pundits everywhere having aneurysms.
I don't know, Jeff.
Sierra Leone took an historic and hard-fought draw against Algeria thanks to an unreal goalkeeping display. Kamara deservedly took man of the match and was emotional as he did so. This is the same man that wore a gold watch for the starting 11 picture. No, I actually love Africans, you know. Ice on the wrist and ice in the veins.
Tell that to your fucking friends.
Alhaji Kamara and Sierra Leone thought they might have won it, only for him to score, celebrate like a tiger, then realise the goal had been disallowed for offside. The wildest scenes, though, came in Mali's 1-0 win over Tunisia, as despite a goal, multiple substitutions and lengthy VAR stoppages, the referee blew for full time in the 85th minute of the game. There were obviously protests and the game recontinued. He then blew for full time again in the 89th minute. One normal day of total energies. That's all I'm asking for. What kind of officiating is going on at this tournament? No wonder this Don wore a watch in his picture, because nobody else at this tournament can time keep. As you could expect, Tunisia's coach was waiting at the referee's door.
When I'm through with you. Oh, when I'm through with you. Oh my God.
Now, after the game, as the Malian manager was giving an interview in a press conference, CAF officials interrupted and demanded that the game needed to be played out to its entirety, being 3 additional minutes. The slight problem is, the original referee just didn't turn up. Mali then came out onto the pitch, and then Tunisia didn't turn up to play injury time. One normal day. Someone needs to check in on this Ghanaian defender after this Vio against Sofiane Boufal. Rwandan referee Salima Mukansanga became the first woman to officiate a game in an African Cup of Nations tournament, and the quality, thankfully, was better than Mali v Tunisia. Cape Verde were given a free kick against Ethiopia in their first group stage match. They took the free kick and scored a screamer, only for it to be ruled out as the referee went over to check VAR and then return and send off an Ethiopia defender that he'd only given a yellow card. I hate this tournament, actually. And just when you thought it couldn't get any stupider, the stadium announcer for Mauritania's game against Gambia accidentally played the wrong national anthem for Mauritania twice in a row before realizing he simply didn't have it, so the players had to sing it themselves. Back in England, and there were some more huge FA Cup upsets. Firstly, as Kidderminster of the 5th tier knocked out Championship side Reading.
4th round, we ain't been back in 35 years. But we're doing it now, baby.
Then League One Cambridge United beat the richest club in the world, Newcastle, 1-0 at St James's Park. And it now means that Cambridge have beaten as many Premier League teams this season as Newcastle have. Alan Shearer is bold, yeah? So the stress from this game hasn't caused his hair to fall out. It's grown back. It's like a double negative. The Cambridge players were loving it at the end, though. Apart from goalkeeper Dimi Mitov, who wanted them focusing on their next game.
Come on, Tuesday, we need to go. Bumpy. Come on, bumpy at home.
It's a Papa John's trophy fixture against Portsmouth. Let everybody enjoy it. Kieran Trippier, however, was not as happy. After his move from Atletico Madrid, this is not what he was expecting. What is he even pointing to in his first picture as a Newcastle player? Hang on a second, actually. I'll zoom in a little. He must be a nightmare in tourist destinations when he's going on holiday. At least Newcastle are making another signing. Is it Mbappe? Is it Haaland? Newcastle fans probably expected to have their hands on wood over the transfers they'd make this January, but not in this sense. For £25 million, look, we've got to do what we've got to do to get Burnley out of this league. Shrewsbury and Morecambe also scared Premier League opposition went ahead, and it begs the question, why weren't these games televised when Leeds versus West Ham, which is a game you can watch in the Premier League, was? Now, playing with the youngsters in this one almost ended disastrously, and that was just Prince Andrew's week. I'm not gonna lie, we're actual frauds, you know. I think we did actually fake the COVID tests. There's gonna need to be a full investigation needed at the training ground. Liverpool's doctor's gonna be on a most wanted list before he even makes it home.
Slow down, lad.
Get the tunes on, someone get the tunes.
Lad, calm down, hit the right lane, slow down, slow right down, hit the left, just hit it.
Turns out, seemingly, it was only Trent Alexander-Arnold who was a new case of COVID in terms of the playing staff anyway. We definitely just got Trent in different disguises for all of the tests.
Call it, take it quickly.
A last-minute goal from Wycombe Wanderers saw this celebration from Adebayo Akinfenwa. Man City beat Swindon Town with Cole Palmer scoring on his debut. He hasn't scored in the Premier League yet, but he's confident it's coming.
What do you make of your first FA Cup goal? Not one in the Premier League yet, but your first FA Cup goal for City.
I know, yeah, delighted. Prem soon come, but
one fan attempted to ratio City on Twitter. It was fair to say that it was unsuccessful. At Chelsea, and Lewis Baker made his second appearance for the club, his first having been in 2014. The midfielder has spent years and years out on loan from the Blues. It's a wonder he was even recognised.
Hi West Ham fans, thank you for your amazing support over the weekend. The FA Cup holds a special place in every footballer's heart.
Where's Ben Johnson's ears gone, fam? Looking like a loaf of Warburton. Vincent Van Johnson over here. Editing Niran here. I've just realised how ironic this is when I look like a light-skinned Willenny. At Charlton, and before their game against Norwich, they showed highlights on their big screen of Norwich getting relegated from the Championship about 10 years ago. It's a shithousery award for the South London side. Over in Italy now, and we had a cracker played out between Juventus and Roma. Roma were 3-1 up in the 70th minute before Juve scored 3 in 10 to make the game 4-3. Jose Mourinho was probably not that amused. Juventus manager Massimiliano Allegri was forced to watch this one from the stands. And judging from this turnaround and the way Juve had been playing previously, he might have to do this more often. Paolo, I'm gonna need you to press a little bit higher up the field. Shut up, man. Who do you think you are? Mate, Mourinho won't care. He'll get into the stands and scrap him anyway. Milan faced one hell of an away day in Venice this week. It turned into a naval battle between their ultras. Meanwhile, Napoli forward Lorenzo Insigne has agreed to move to MLS side Toronto in the summer, and Toronto's owner admitted that he went onto transfermarkt.com and searched for Italian players whose contracts were expiring, and Insigne was one of them. Who needs a scouting network? He's actually such a small man. Word on the street is that he uses a watch as a belt. His fridge is the same size as the normal man's microwave. He's got a tattoo on the back of his neck of his whole family, and he's the smallest one. In Germany and against Frankfurt, Erling Haaland is ready for a scrap at all times. One Dortmund fan told him to cut his hair on Twitter pretty repetitively, and he was not on it. And I don't know who the kit man is at Bayern, but Jamal Musiala is not Corentin Tolisso. In Spain, and I don't know whose idea it was to let Marcelo take the selfie, but it was not the most practical decision. At Villarreal, and I can only imagine that Messi's growth hormones have leaked somewhere along the lines, because these lot are crazy. And that brings us to our goal of the week that was actually scored against Villarreal by Atletico Madrid. I say the goal of the... I'm cheating. There's multiple. The first one coming with Angel Correa picking up the ball on the halfway line and seizing his opportunity to lob the Villarreal shot stopper from the most ridiculous of ranges. But if you thought that was good, it was matched entirely by Rui Correa of Nacional in Portugal's second division in the exact same week. And you thought we were done there? Well, shout out to Salem Al-Douzri, who scored a genuine contender for the Puskás Award of 2022 here. And now for the anti-goal goal of the week because Andy Carroll, whilst playing for Reading in a 7-0 defeat for Fulham, the poor guy had 2 absolute screamers ruled out for offside in the same game. Well, at Porto, when they were drawing 2-2 to Estoril prior, manager Sergio Conceição brings on his son Francisco, who scores the winner in the 89th minute. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Kepada Jose Wilson kembali berupaya, masih dribbling, menabrak.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home, and Lincoln's Chris Maguire scored against Sunderland, his old side this week. He wasn't going to celebrate originally, then remembered that he needed to gloat in front of his former manager. It's a shithousery award for the Lincoln man. I simply don't know the context of this one, but a few mates have gone to the pub. They've not only found a pig on a lead in there, but John Barnes as well.
Pig. Look at the John Barnes.
He thinks he's fucking Ronaldo. Hey, get in!
Over in Brazil, and the president of First Division side Chiara was apparently offered Franck Ribery, who's currently playing in Italy for Salernitana. His reaction was one of confusion, given he didn't actually realise Ribery was still playing professional football. Over at Palmeiras, and we've got a ridiculously skillful goal coming in an under-21s match. The interesting point here is it's been scored by Endrick, who's 15 years old. Some of the Dons in this game are 6 years older than him, and he's slapping them about. Japanese veteran Kazuyoshi Miura is still continuing his professional career, signing for Japanese 4th-tier side Suzuki Point Getters. He's 55 this season. Just claimed a pension, bro. And staying in Japan, we've got this swarm of players down at the corner flag as the team in the lead is time wasting. But it's 4-0. You don't need to be time wasting this fiercely. Over in Cyprus, and Danilo Spoljaric had just scored for Apollon to take his side level in their game against AEK, only for him to then score a spectacular own goal to give the opposition the lead again just 8 minutes later. There was almost a road traffic incident on Kuwaiti television this week. FC Chernomorets announced the signing of Douglas Bergqvist on Insta this week. They did so by MS painting their current kit on top of an old picture of young Douglas. Cristiano.
Well done, he's 13.
Over in India, and a new statue of Cristiano Ronaldo has been unveiled. Look, listen, it's not, is it? This is the PES version of Ronaldo, seemingly. Over in Nepal, and it's not very often you get a team own goal, but this is exactly what's happened here. Meanwhile, somebody probably needed to tell this Indonesian cameraman that his camera was actually on air. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And what's football about? It's about bringing people together in the enjoyment of watching the beautiful game, the sport that we all love. Or alternatively, it's about cussing out people you're playing against. I mean, he deserved it, looking like some Jack Grealish from Facebook Marketplace. On to the weird stuff though now. FIFA has handed a lifetime ban to 45 players from Laos this week after all being involved in match fixing in recent years. 45 people? Was the kit man involved as well or something? Chester FC down in the Vanarama National League are facing financial sanctions and potentially even bankruptcy after being told they'd breached COVID regulations by allowing 2,000 fans into the stadium for home matches. Now, the reason they've been allowing fans into the ground is because they're registered as an English club. They play in the English football pyramid, and teams from England have still been playing in front of fans. However, the club is based directly on the border between England and Wales. And when I say this club is on the boundary, literally, their pitch is in Wales, but the ticket office and the car park for the ground are in England. And Wales are demanding that their clubs are playing games behind closed doors because of COVID. Now, hopefully this is overturned, or they're they're given the Welsh grants that they are therefore entitled to. And finally, over in France, Versailles were meant to be playing their next cup game against Toulouse at home, having been obviously drawn out of the hat before Toulouse. You know how draws work. However, they're having to play the game in Toulouse instead because they're not licensed to hold games at night. The reason for this is that the club stadium is in close proximity to the Palace of Versailles, and there is legitimately a law that no lighting can be seen from like the palace windows beyond a certain point within a 5-kilometer radius. So they just can't play night games there, so they're having to play it. That is the stupidest. That though is gonna wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.